Welcome everyone. Today, we are going to take a deep dive into a very powerful technique for identifying market trends. More importantly, this method is designed especially for beginners like us. Let's get started. Have you ever looked at a chart and felt exhausted, like you are constantly guessing whether price will go up or down tomorrow? That feeling is stressful and uncertain, and almost every new trader has experienced it at some point. But here is the good news. There is a method, a complete system, that helps us stop guessing. Instead, it allows us to make decisions based on clear signals, which can make us much more confident. And that is exactly what we are going to break down today. First, let's talk about the main tool in the strategy, the Super Trend Indicator. This is a very popular tool, but it also comes with a trap that many beginners fall into. So, what is Super Trend? Simply put, it is a visual indicator that draws a line directly on your price chart and helps you spot the market trend as quickly as possible. The great thing about Super Trend is how simple it is to read. When the line turns green and stays below price, it signals that the trend is bullish. On the other hand, when it turns red and stays above price, it signals that the trend is bearish. Sounds simple enough, right? But if it were really that easy, why wouldn't we just use Super Trend alone to make money? That is where the real trap appears. When the market is trending clearly, Super Trend works extremely well. But when the market moves sideways, meaning price keeps bouncing up and down within a narrow range, it often produces false buy and sell signals. This is what traders call noise. And that noise can cause repeated losses if you rely on a single indicator alone. So what is the solution? The answer is confirmation. Think of it this way. When you face an important medical decision, you usually want a second doctor's opinion before taking action. Trading works the same way. We should never act based on only one signal. Instead, we use a second tool as a smart filter. This filter helps us eliminate most of the noise and keep only the highest quality signals. And that gives us our complete system. We still use Super Trend for short-term signals, but to filter out noise, we add a second tool, the 200-day moving average, also known as the 200 EMA. The 200 EMA is simply the average price of the last 200 periods, and it helps us identify the overall long-term trend of the market. Our goal is to take action only when both indicators agree with each other. Now let's get to the most important part, the entry and exit rules. These rules are clear, specific, and must be followed without exception. By rules, we need two conditions to happen at the same time. Super Trend turns green, signaling short-term bullish momentum. Price is above the 200 EMA, confirming that the bigger picture, the long-term trend, is also bullish. Only when both conditions are met do we consider it a valid buy signal. Sell rules. The sell rules are simply the opposite. We need Super Trend to turn red, showing that sellers are in control in the short term. Price to be below the 200 EMA, confirming that the overall long-term trend is bearish. When these two signals align, we have a much stronger and more reliable sell setup. Exit rules. So, when do we take profit or cut losses? The exit rule is just as simple and mechanical. Exit the trade as soon as Super Trend changes color. For example, if you entered a buy trade while Super Trend was green, you close the trade immediately when it turns red. If you entered a sell trade while Super Trend was red, you close the trade immediately when it turns green. This rule removes emotion from the process. You no longer have to hesitate, hold on to profits too long, or sit in losses hoping the market turns around. Most importantly, it helps protect your trading account. The system we just covered is an excellent starting point, especially for beginners. But if you want to go deeper, there are also some advanced variations you can explore. There are two common directions. First, you can use 3 Super Trend indicators with different settings and only enter a trade when all 3 show the same color. Second, you can combine Super Trend with the Ichimoku cloud, using the cloud as a long-term trend filter instead of the 200 EMA. However, after everything we have discussed about tools and rules, there is still one thing that matters most, and that is discipline. There is no magical indicator that can predict the future with 100% accuracy. The goal of a successful trader is not to become a fortune teller. It is to become a disciplined person who follows a proven system. You may have the best trading system in the world, but if you do not have the patience to wait for the right signal and the discipline to follow your rules, then none of it will matter. So, I want to end today's session with one question for you. Now that you understand this method, what does discipline mean to you? And what will you do to build and maintain it in your own trading journey? Thank you for listening.